Okay, great. So this is part two. Okay, so let's quickly begin. This is part two uh, of the video series of three videos that I have planned. So the next question is, okay, I want to talk to you about delegation and why delegation is important. But then I want to talk to you about the levels of delegation. Um, okay, so the word delegation means that you are, let us say there is a task to be done. Now you are giving this task to someone else, right? To another person, you are giving this task and you are asking them to do this task, right? So that is the meaning of delegation. Basically, you are giving the task to somebody else to do it. Now, what are the levels of delegation? Let us first understand. Uh, So level one of delegation is actually no delegation, right? So let's look at it from this perspective. Let's look at it from the perspective of me delegating work to you, and then you can apply the same thing with your team as well. So level number one is no delegation, right? So no delegation. Uh, for example, let's say when you first join the organization and I don't know your capabilities and your capacity, I would have said something like, no, just do this thing, do exactly what I say, right? So I would have said, do exactly what I say. Means that I will tell you what to do, and your job is only doing. There is no thinking involved. I am not asking you to think. I am saying just do the work. What I tell you, do the work. So this is level one, right? In level one, uh, let's say you have a problem, then you ask me about the problem and I give you the answer, right? And let us say that I have not given you the answer. So, problem, you ask me, how do I solve this? You ask me, right? And then I give you the answer. This is how you need to solve. Now, again, in this, there is no thinking involved on your behalf. It is only doing. Only ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮಾತ್ರ becomes your responsibility. There is no doing it all. Right now, the flip side of it is you ask me a problem, and until and unless I answer, you will not be able to do the work at all. Right? You will not be able to do unless and until somebody else gives you the answer. So this is the first level where I say, I will do exactly what I say, wait to be told, only do what I ask you to do. So now you are at level one. Then let's look at level two. Level two is recommend. So let us say that you come to me with a problem, right? You come to me with a problem. You come to me with a problem, and I will say, okay, why don't you recommend me the solution? You come to me with the problem, and I say, give me your recommendation and why, right? So give me your recommendation of the solution and why you think this is the right solution. Now, as soon as I say, give me your recommendation and why, As soon as I say this, what happens? You are now not only the doer, but you start thinking as well. You start thinking as well about the solution, right? Um, but what happens, I'm not yet sure how your thinking is. So I will say you come back to me with your solution and you tell me why you think this solution is good. And I will check your thinking and I will say this is good, bad, whatever it is, I will tell you. So this is level two of delegation, right? So level one was no delegation. I will tell you do. Level two is now you recommend me a solution and why you think that solution is good. And then I will tell you, okay, this is good, this is bad, whatever it is. Now, level three. Now, let us say that you have started giving good recommendations and that your solutions are now starting to be good. So now you're at level two. Next comes level three, which is start delegation. All right. So start delegation. What at some level I will tell you saying you decide and take action, but let me know what you did. For example, let us say you got a problem, right? In the previous step, you came to me saying, I have this problem, and I said, recommend me a solution and why you think this solution is good. And I checked it. For example, you recommend me the solution and why you think this is good. I checked it and I said, okay, this is good, this is good. So after some time, now you now get into the skill development of your problem solving and you get a problem. Now, what you do, you decide and then you take action on this, right? So you decide and take action, and then after that, you inform me saying that this was the problem, this is the decision that I took, and this is how I solved it, and then you inform me. Now, this begins the real place where delegation actually starts. Now you start taking control of your action, your doing, you start controlling, right? Because now you are doing your thinking. Now, once you give it to me, I might say, in because now by now, because you have gone through the levels of delegation, by now I will tell you saying, mostly it will be that, oh yeah, whatever you have decided is correct. But even if there is something wrong, then I can quickly tell you saying, maybe that's not the right decision. I think you need to change that decision. So at this level, the amount of trust is much more compared to level one and level two, right? And I trust your decision making and your problem solving abilities. So this also increases responsibility. This increases your responsibility. And as I've told you in the previous videos, the only way to grow in the organization or in life is to improve your decision making and your problem solving. Now you can clearly see that in level one, there is no problem solving and decision making. Level two, you're recommending solutions and recommending, and now automatically your problem solving and decision making skills have started improving. Now we come to level three, where you are now really starting to test how your problem solving is and how your decision making is, but you are keeping me informed. You are keeping me informed that, okay, this was the problem, this is the decision that I have taken, and um, this is the decision that I've taken. That's all you tell. And in most scenarios, I will say, excellent, keep it up. Or in certain scenarios, I will say, please change your decision. Maybe that's not the right decision. Maybe look at something else. Now let's look at level four. Level four is where magic happens, right? Level four is D, delegation, right? So this is true delegation. You decide, right? So you have a problem or whatever. You decide, you take action, and you don't have to inform me. You decide, you take action. You need not check back with me. You don't have to inform me. This is the most amount of freedom. Delegation, true delegation is the most amount of freedom that you will have, right? Here, when you have to reach this level, you need to have, basically, I need to have high level of confidence with you. High confidence. And in most cases, we need to have great systems in place. That's when something like this will work. And uh, so in this, basically, the assumption is that now we are all thinking in the same direction, right? So this is high level of delegation. Now you can see that these are the four levels. No delegation. Basically, why I have written it is the acronym for this is NRSD to leadership. In the previous video, I talked to you about the four P's: problem solving, planning and decision making, profit making, and personal growth. Now I'm telling you how to improve planning and decision making and problem solving, right? So when you begin at no delegation. Basically, you are told to do and then you do it. You're not asked to think. Then level two is say, okay, why don't you think, right? There is a problem. Great. I respect your brain. Why don't you tell me what the right solution is? And then I will tell you, okay, and why don't you tell me what the right solution and why you think this is the right solution? Now, in this, I'm evaluating your thinking, and I will say, okay, great, this is a great solution, go ahead. Now, once you have started recommending, and now once you understand, okay, what's the way to problem solve, then start delegation happens. Basically, you have a problem, you solve it, but then you inform me. You have a problem, you solve it, and then you inform me. The last and the final level where there is true freedom is you decide, you take action, and you don't need to check back with me. Right? Now you have to see which level of in this leadership levels, which level are you on? And the thing is that everybody in the organization is on a particular level. For example, even in our organization, there are some people who take decisions, right? They take actions and they don't need to inform me because now we are completely in sync. And you will see that these guys are at the top of the organization, right? Then you see that there are certain people who are in level three. They have a problem, they solve the problem, and then they inform me. These guys are at approximately the uh, middle level managers, right? So this is top management, this is middle management. Then there are guys who are in the recommend phase, which is level three. They are in the recommend phase here. Um, they come back to me and they say, "Oh, this is a problem. What do you think? Do you think this is the right solution?" And then they take action. So they are at level two. And then there are some people who are at level one. They say, "No, no, you only give me the solution." They think, okay, giving the solution, if I give the solution, then they are safe, right? But the way to grow in the organization, and this is the supervisors will be at this level, the lower managers will be at this level, the upper managers will be at this level, and the top management will be at this level, right? And the way to grow in the organization is to go from no delegation to recommend to start delegation to delegation. Now, the thing is, level one is the easiest. Level one is the easiest because somebody else is telling you work. You just have to do it. But this drastically hinders your growth because you can't move to the next level, no? So you just end up just being a doer and not a thinker at all. Now the next question is, now whatever I told you that this is the way to grow with me, the same thing you can apply with your team, right? So with your team as well, if you analyze, you will see that different people are at different levels in the organization. In your team, there are some people whom you say, just do the work. I will tell you what to do. You just do it. You don't do any thinking. I don't trust your thinking at all. So just do it. Then there are some people whom you say, why don't you recommend? Why don't you recommend me an answer? And then there are some people where you say, okay, I trust you with the decision. You take the decision and you go ahead and do it. And then tell me saying this is the decision, and there might be or there might not be at all people whom you can trust blindly. You take the decision, you do whatever, you take the action, you don't even have to tell me. I'm not sure if you have some person at that level or not, but uh, ideally you need to have. Now, why I say, why I say that you can do this with your team, and then the next line and most important line is the the more you delegate, the more you grow. Because one of the best ways to grow yourself is to grow your people, right? Is to grow your team. When I say grow, I don't mean quantity, I mean quality. And the way to grow the quality of your people is to take them from level 1 to level 4. Now if you are at level 2, is it possible for you to have somebody at level 3? It becomes difficult, right? So you are forced to move up a level. You are forced to improve your planning and decision making. You are forced to improve your like decision making and your problem solving. Sorry, right? So the what happens is once you start delegating the simpler problems, the tougher problems come to you. The toughest problems of the organization come to the top of the organization because the simpler problems will be solved by people down the line, right? So the more you delegate, the more you will grow your team. And when there is no delegation, when all your team is at level 1, there is only one decision maker in the entire team, which is you. You have to decide on everything and everybody is a doer. Now, when it comes to level 2, you have got many more thinkers in the team. Now, automatically, team starts doing better because now you've got people in the team who are starting to recommend. They say, sir, why don't we do this? Why don't we do this? You start getting a lot more perspective. Along with them, you also grow. Now, imagine you're at level 3 and you've got people in your team that there is a problem, they will solve it and they just inform you. How much freedom is this going to give you to start looking at the bigger picture? If you have a lot of people in level 4, this is true growth. Because now what happens is that you're free from doing the smaller, you're free from solving the smaller problems and you look at only the bigger problems, right? So this is about nursed to leadership, one of the most important concepts that I have learned, right? And I'm sharing it with you. I apply this with all of you all the time. And you can yourself see there are some people that I ask recommendation from. There are some people I say just go ahead, take the decision. No, the problem is you don't realize that you've gone up a level. So I say just take the decision, go ahead, nothing's gonna happen, right? If not, if something happens, I'm there. No, don't worry about it. If something happens, I'm there. Now, don't just simply start taking decisions. You might be wrong, right? You can't push yourself from level 1 to level 2, but then it has to be a both handshake, right? Your teammate also has to agree, and you also have to agree that now you are good at decision making, and then only this will work. So now I have told you, I told you about FCD and 4P. Now I've told you about delegation and how to improve your problem solving and decision making and planning. The next video, I will show you how you can apply this. How most of you are at level maybe 1 or level 2, right? Basically, you are at just tell me the work, I will do it, or you are at giving me recommendations. So we've created a system so that you can improve your problem solving and planning and decision making. I will show this to you in the next video. Okay, great. Thank you very much.